Hi, thank you for joining me for episode 2, Make Time, Don't Find It, a guide to prioritizing your day. I'm Charisse, and thanks for making time to join me with this. Thank you. So I hear it all the time. I just can't find the time to run, exercise, whatever it is that you can think of that you might want to do. People are always saying, I can't find the time to do it. How do you find the time to do all the things you do?
How do you find the time to do it?
Well, I'm about to share some tips that I have found to work for me. When you say that I can't find the time, basically, you're being passive in your priorities. On the other hand, when you say, I'm going to make time to do whatever it is that you want to do, then you are actively creating space in your schedule to do the things that you want to do. So this is the case no matter what your goals are. And this is why I chose for this episode to skip over step 1, which is setting goals. We'll get to later and get down to the business of making time so you can get more done. All right. So I want to clarify one thing. It's not necessarily being able to cram more things into your already busy schedule. This is about figuring out what matters most to you and then setting aside and making the time to do those things that really matter. I want to share with you an analogy that I found from a very old book that made me laugh. It's called Time Management by Mark Mancini. And he says in this book that we need to think about, imagine a bank that credits your account every single morning with $86,400.
Can I sign up with this bank?
Yeah, right? Wouldn't this be awesome? Every day.
Mm-hmm.
But since it doesn't carry over a balance from one day to the next, any money that you fail to spend today is going to be deleted from your account tomorrow.
Ooh.
Right? So what would you do? You'd probably draw out every single penny every single day.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Or other things if you're smart and can see into the future. Well, actually, what you would do is you would invest some of it in your tomorrows. And that would be the smart thing to do. So each of us has a bank, very much like this imaginary bank, and it's called time.
Time is money.
Time is money. And every single morning, it credits you with 86,400 seconds.
86,400 seconds. I wrote that just now.
Well, that was a year, but that's a different song. Every night it writes it off as lost, and whatever seconds that you have failed to use to your advantage, it carries no balance. Mm-hmm. You can't have any overdrafts. If you fail to use all of the day's deposit, you're going to lose it. You lose whatever you don't use. So every single one of us has the same number of seconds to use as we think best, but if we don't use them to the best advantage, and we don't invest them wisely, we lose them. You don't get them back. The clock is ticking. Don't let these precious seconds slip away. Side note, this is one thing that I just found interesting to me. So I'm a teacher, and I always felt like a minute was just like really fast, just really quick. However, once I started teaching, I began to realize how long a minute could actually be. You can get so much accomplished, and there are so many things that are possible in one tiny little minute. 60 seconds is an incredible amount of time if you use it wisely.
All right, so question for you then.
Yes.
Walk us through, if you would, tell us how a typical day for you looks.
Okay, typical day for me, and I apologize if this goes a little long. I wake up at about 4:45. I go on a run.
Feeling like P. Diddy?
Is that a song?
Yeah, but we don't want to feel like P. Diddy in 2024.
No, we don't.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay. I run for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on whatever my training calls for that day. All of my running items are set out the night before. While I'm running, I either am listening to a book of some sort on Audible or a podcast, or I'm listening to music to get ideas for school, for the future. Once I get home, I shower, I get my lunch together, which I prepared the night before, and my drinks, and I have a lot of drinks, gotta hydrate.
She's a beverage goblin, folks.
I am. I make myself a cup of tea because all of the other drinks aren't enough. I sip the tea while I'm filling out my daily planner, and I'm looking back on what I didn't accomplish yesterday, and I'm prioritizing each of those items. Then I'm going to go shower, get dressed. I always have my clothes picked out the night before, do my hair, makeup, boom, walk out the door no later than 7:15, 7:20 if it was a little bit of a longer run day.
Can confirm.
I call my daughter on the way to school, and I also call my mom to check in and say hi on my way to school. Those are my daily emotional check-in with myself. Also, I like to use this app it's called Gabby by Gabby Bernstein. It's fabulous.
What is it?
She is like a mindfulness meditation guru, like really good at teaching you tips and tricks for mindfulness and just calming, great energy. So if you haven't heard of her, Gabby Bernstein, check out anything she's done. She's wonderful. So I love her. Her app. Once I get to work, I usually about 7:45, I unpack all of my things for the day. I unpack my lunch, my drinks, my planner.
Unpacking your drinks takes about another half hour, yeah.
It does. All of them. I like to set them up too strategically in my room. A couple drinks in my office, a couple drinks by my desk. That way I'm never without it. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
I set
Two
up
steps away from a drink at any given
That's
time.
right. I set up all the tabs on my computer for each class. I teach 7 classes per day, so I like to have them all set, prepped, and ready to go. My typical workday is from 8 to 4. After school, after work, I teach after-school lessons, and it varies depending on the day how many. Some days after lessons, I'll stop by my parents' house to say hello if I'm in the area. If I'm home in time for dinner, on the nights that Doolin is off, he cooks. Yes, I am the luckiest. He also cleans too, which is even better.
Sometimes.
Otherwise, we'll eat planned leftovers or we cook some pre-cooked, prepped meals if it's my turn to cook. Hey, this is like not an ad or anything, but HelloFresh and Home Chef, total time savers.
It's not an ad, but Hello Chef and Home Fresh, it could be.
They're amazing too. Just so far, the ones that I've tried. After that, we clean up from dinner. I pick up a little bit around the house. If I need to do laundry, I don't have like a set day. I just get it done when it needs to be done. Shower, get ready for bed. Spend some time with Doolin watching a show. Make sure to do my Duolingo to keep up with my foreign language practice.
I love how the thing that you do with me is not particularly productive.
Well, it doesn't have to be productive. To me, that's important. It's something that I want to spend my time on, spending a little time with you. And then I go to sleep and repeat. On Wednesdays, you can add church choir to that list. And on
Go ahead.
Thursdays, opera rehearsal.
And what else in terms of trying to keep up with your musical pursuits? So you have church choir, you have opera because you sing in the opera. In addition to all this, what else? What else do you factor in?
So I also, for my goals, I also want to continue to practice piano. So I also take piano lessons once a week myself, and guitar. And also practice bass. And so this is kind of a funny story because I was talking to my piano teacher, hi Holly, about how slacking I've been on piano. And we were having this conversation about motivation. And one of the things I said is I'm going to do this experiment because on the podcast, I'm talking about making time versus finding time. And I've been slacking and I've been trying to find time to play piano. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And let me tell you, I added making time to play piano this week to my list. I played every day for approximately 20 minutes, sometimes even more, except for one day this week, which I consider a huge win.
You guys should see it. It's pretty incredible. She was reading a book with one hand, talking to her daughter on the phone with the other hand, and she was playing with her toes. You should have been there. It was spectacular to see.
Yes. The day that I can do that, we should definitely video and share that. That would be cool.
Definitely.
So as I mentioned before, just a little bit of an overachiever. But the thing is that I absolutely love everything that I do. So it makes it easy to keep up with my schedule. I do make time to relax. And it's important for a few hours on Sunday afternoons. And I make time for date nights with my love.
Yay.
And as I put in there before, spending that time watching a show, that time to relax and unwind from a busy day is also very important to me. When you're doing the things that you love to do and you know it's going to help your life, it's so much easier to make the time to do those things. For me, I make time to run every day because it's important to me. I also had a goal that I set to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So until I reach that goal, I'm going to continue working my butt off.
And to be fair, you had a case of bronchitis that was kind of slowing you down a little bit. And you still went and ran a marathon with bronchitis. So also playing into the fact that you are most definitely an overachiever.
Yes. And I did not quite reach my goal, but I signed up for another marathon January 26th. To be continued. I will keep you informed and let you know what's going on with that. After I reach that goal, who knows? Maybe I'll take up something different. Maybe I'll go back to practicing my language or learn how to crochet. Who knows? Something. Sorry, that was like a lot of information, and I hope you didn't get too bored with that. But there were a lot of key hacks that I pack into my day that I want to point out to you. So today we're focusing on making time versus finding time, because we need to make sure that you find time for the things that you need to do. You know what I mean. The things that you think are the most important in your life. All right. So write it down. You want to make more time? Write it down. Whatever it is you want to accomplish, write it down. Make a list for the week ahead of time.
Hold on. Wait, I'm writing that down. Write it
down.
Okay, I've written down, write it down.
Okay, and if you can't write it down right now,
Rightception.
And you're like me and you have Apple Watch, hey Siri, make a note of this. Oh, there she goes. No, not right now. Not right now, Siri. And then, so make a plan for the list or for the week, make your list for the week. And then before bed, if you can, make a list of your next day and write down every little thing. Don't leave anything out.
Thank you, Siri.
Prepare ahead of time. Number 2, this is so important. If exercise is on your list, get your clothes ready. Make sure your earbuds are charged. Get your shoes out and ready and near the door. Have everything ready that you need to go so you can just get up and walk out the door. Download new music ahead of time that motivates you, or an audiobook, or hey, listen to a podcast. Have one ready to go.
I can think of a few podcasts.
Yeah, me too. Depending on what you like. So when you wake up the next morning, whatever you need, it's all there. Before bed, get your lunch ready for the next day. Have it prepared. Prep your water bottles. Do those things before you're too tired, because your sleepy and groggy morning self will thank you. Pick out your clothes the night before. This is a huge time saver. I have a friend at school who actually picks out her wardrobe for the entire week ahead of time because of how much time it saves her. No joke. Hi, Sophia. A next thing that's really, really important is don't hit snooze. Yes, don't do it. Those extra 9 minutes of sleep, they are not going to be quality minutes. They are not going to make you feel better or feel more rested than you did 9 minutes before. Just get up. It takes a little bit of practice in the beginning, but I promise you it will get easier. As soon as you wake up, don't go on your social media. Don't start scrolling. Look at your list. Look at your daily list you just made the night before. And look at those important things so you can put them fresh in your mind. Number 4 is your mindset. Remember that the things on your list are not necessarily chores. They are not things that you have to do. These are things that you chose to make time for today. So keep that thought in the back of your mind as you go through your day and crossing off things off your list. You didn't have to go to the gym. You got to go to the gym because you chose to make it happen.
Jedi mind trick yourself. I like it.
Yes, and it works.
Like I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work.
Exactly. Okay, I know we all have to have a job. But what if you think about it like, oh my gosh, I get to go to work today. We all have to take care of our kids, right? We want them to live. But it's an honor. It's a blessing. You get to have to take care of those kids that you love. That was your choice. So feel like you're grateful and to be able to do the things that you do. That's a huge, huge tip.
Well, gratitude goes a long way in everything, not just time management, I think. So,
It
I mean,
does.
it changes your whole outlook on everything.
Absolutely. It's so beneficial in every area of your life. And you wouldn't think about it for time management, but this one little trick, just shifting that mindset of I get to do these things, is going to make you want to accomplish those things on your list because you get to do them, not that you have to do them. The last thing that I put on here, number 5, is before getting ready for bed, take a moment to reflect on your day. What went well? What went smooth? What needed a little tweaking? Reflecting is a great way to ensure that you don't get stuck and bored in your life and you're constantly progressing towards your goal. This is for every single aspect of your life, your work life, your relationship, your whatever goals you had.
I'll chime in here with a quote from comedian Chad Daniels, who's one of my favorite comedians. And he said, if you got cut off in traffic during the daytime and you get home and you are still angry about that in the nighttime, maybe the problem is you.
Ooh, I like that. There's some things to
let things go. Be in the moment. That was hours ago. Be here now.
Yes. All right. So, key things to remember. You get to do the things you do. Prioritize. Prepare. Then this way you can make the time instead of finding the time. Remember, each day we need to spend our full deposit of time. It doesn't roll over, so make sure to use it wisely. Thank you for joining me and making time for this. Next time, let's figure out exactly what you want to make time for. On the next episode, we're going to talk about our goals. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for making time to do this with me today.